Hi everyone, welcome back to Enjoy the Bounty of Planning with Dr. Tonisha Taylor. So this week is all about that pre-planning for the first week of school. So I have laid out here my pile of supplies that I'm going to use for my planning. So I have my pile of stickers. This is a sticker sheet that I actually took from my mom. She and I are both sorors of Alpha Kappa Alpha. This week is our Founders Day celebration, but my mother gets the Ivy box, and so in the Ivy box this month was a planner, and it came with some planner stickers, which I really liked this sheet of stickers, and so my mom was kind enough to give me this sheet, so I'm really excited about it. So I think I'm going to use this sticker right here because it just is going to go with my planner for the week, and I like it because it kind of has a first day of school kind of theme to me, but it also will have a nice like sorority feel, so it'll make me happy. And then I have a bunch of other stickers. I have the Happy Planner sticker books, which I use for their planning stickers to decorate my bullet journal because, as I mentioned in previous videos, I cannot draw or doodle or anything like that, and the closest I get to that are some really, I think, really cute stick figures that I draw in my walking step goal to be able to signify that I'm meeting my steps for the day and the week. So I have that, and then I have, now ultimately when you're doing bullet journaling, really all you need is three things. I'm gonna move my glasses. You need a notebook, you need a pen, and you need a ruler. Unless you don't really care about super straight lines, or you're the kind of person who can write a super straight line on their own, then you don't even need that, right? You just really need a pen, and you can choose any color that you like. I personally like very colorful pens every week, as you noticed in my month and first week of January setup. But you know, all you really need is a pen and a notebook. So let's go ahead and take a quick tour through the month, and since I didn't do a flip through video for last week, let's also look at that last week's video as well, so that you can see what happened and how it was set up. So this is my setup for the month. As we noted before, I did cover up, I have added, as I said I would, added some other content. Some of it's kind of personal information, so that's why it's covered up. But this is essentially what the setup looks like. Now, if you go back and you look at my video setup for the month of January, and really my 2019 setup for my whole bullet journal, there were blank spaces, there weren't these stickers, which is actually, this is actually a washi tape. So as the thing that I want you to remember is that as your month progresses, as your year progresses, so should your bullet journal. So there should be more stuff on it at the end of the month than there was at the beginning of the month, because you're gonna have additional information that's gonna come to you as the month progresses. So whether you are in high school and you're looking at these, or because you're getting ready for college, or you're a college, you're an undergrad, or you're a graduate student, or you're new career, mid-career, late career as an academic, you know, we all know that things should mature over time. They should develop as time progresses. And so your bullet journal should be the same way, and it should get to be more detailed as your month goes on. So last week, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see a picture of what this weekly spread looks like. And the weekly spread is the same thing, right? It starts off a little bit thinner, and then it gets more detail as the week goes on. So one of the things that happened when I first started this is there were some university information, some of it is covered up, that I didn't know, and so I had to add it later. So if you look at the picture from Instagram and what this looks like now, it got more detailed as the week continued. And again, it's just I do a little bit of budget planning, personal budget planning, in my journals, and I do a little bit of travel planning for personal and professional travel planning in my bullet journal. And I'll talk a little bit more, especially for those of you who are in graduate school or those of you who are early career who will need to plan like conference attendance and things like that. I'll talk more about sort of how I do the budget planning in a separate video. And I'll lay that out a little bit more. But right now, what this square right here is covering up is actually the early research on some flights for a conference trip that I have upcoming, and then some other just sort of personal bills and things like that is like the rest of this, which I, probably don't want everybody in the world to know what I pay for things, or what my billing information is. So that kind of stuff you'll notice, and I probably won't explain it again in future videos, but that's pretty much what's being covered up. As you can see, I did really well on my step goals. I'm just gonna bring it a little bit closer so you can see. So as you might recall from my previous video, my step goal is to do 10,000 steps a day, and I'm really proud of myself. I did really well this week. I said in my first video, I think, that I was planning to purchase a treadmill. I did purchase it. It was delivered. I did start working out on it this week. I'm really excited. I canceled my gym membership because I was like, why am I paying all of this money to go to a gym when I only really use one thing whenever I go, and it's a treadmill. So in my mind, I guess I had an idea of the cost of treadmills as like 1990s prices. And treadmills you don't have to spend, $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 to have a really nice treadmill. And so I was really excited about that. So I spent a very reasonable sum, less than $500, because of course it's the new year and everybody's, got fitness goals. So all the fitness equipment is on sale. So if you're gonna buy one, I say buy it now. So because I did really well with my step goals, that inspired me to really pay way more attention to my other healthy life goals, which, as you can see, I did way better at the end of the week than I did at the beginning of the week. I was doing good with Monday, I just didn't work out. Tuesday, I actually ended up having a bunch of stuff going on. I was really focused on getting some social media projects, some personal and professional social media projects done. I actually focused a lot on my writing projects on Tuesday, and I kind of forgot to take my vitamins or eat a decent lunch and dinner that day. I fell back into some bad habits, and then I decided the next day I was gonna get myself together. So for me, one of the things, and I think I mentioned this before, that I notice is if I don't go to bed on time, then I end up waking up a little bit later and then not being as productive. So Tuesday I went to bed on time, but I actually am also still fighting a little bit of a cold, and Wednesday I just did not quite make that 7 a.m. wake up. It was more like 8. So, and I know a lot of you are like, 8 o'clock, that's still not bad, but when your goal is 7, you're like, oh, I'm a little hour off, but it's okay. So the rest of the week though, I did great. I'm filming this on Sunday, so I'm still working to meet the rest of my goals for this week. So that is what happened for last week. I'm actually at a lot more detail. I was gonna show what my dailies look like, but this week my dailies were really detailed with a lot of travel preparation and budgeting with some more detailed information than what I'd really like to show in these videos. So what I'll probably do is we'll wait until I have some dailies that I'm actually comfortable showing to show. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to time lapse this part of the video, and I might do a little bit of talking through the time lapse, but I know you probably don't want to watch me necessarily line this out for a full, I think it takes like 20 minutes, especially since I just already did a bunch of talking, but I'm gonna speed through it and then we'll come back and talk on the other side. All right, so let's go. So I originally was going to use this light pink Staedtler fine liner to do my lines for the grid for the week, and then I don't know, it looked too light to me, like even like right in that moment, so I switched to my dark pink my dark pink Staedtler fine liner instead. And the fine liners that I use are the 0.3 millimeter. So they are super thin, they are lovely, and I will have a link below in the description box so that you can, if you want to get those and you like them, you can try them out. Now when I line out my pages, I line out 3 rows down or 3 dots down is my first line, and then on the 4th row or 4th dot is gonna be the second line. And that's what I do to give me my header space, where later I'll write the date, and then between the 2 pink lines, I'll write the days of the week. So here is where I start marking out the lines for the columns. And when I did that, I just wanted to say that these columns are 8 dots across. So that's how wide they are for each day. And then the rows, which you'll see me do in a moment, are 10 dots down for the first 2 rows, the appointments and the to-do rows. And then for the row that is marked projects or research, that one is 12. And I always give that one a little bit more space because I break down the project into parts based on whatever it is. So if it's an article or a conference paper, I include the particular elements of that project, which you'll see me write in a moment. Remember earlier when I said I can't draw? Still a true statement. But don't you love my cute little stick figures? So earlier I forgot to say that each little stick figure is representative of 1,000 steps, and my goal is to make sure that I have 10,000 steps a day. The day of the week also represents 1,000 steps, so I am noticing on this video right now that means I actually only have 8,000 steps on this, but I did go back and fix that and added 2 little additional stick figures so that I would have my correct number of people. At the top, I always write goals, and then the next thing that I'm writing there is my goal tracker or my habit tracker for my healthy lifestyle goals as well. So as I said, my goals for a healthy lifestyle are to be up by 7 a.m. and do my workout. And my workout goal is to do 30 minutes a day. Then it's take my vitamins, have a healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, healthy dinner, healthy snacks, drink 70 ounces of water a day, and then in bed by 7:30. So I really work hard to try and achieve those goals every day, and I just shade in the box as I achieve the goal, and hopefully I have a completed bar at the end of the day and at the end of the week, which when it happens is really exciting. When it doesn't, it's like, well, I'll just try again next week. So now I am just putting in the day of the week and then the date as well. For me, I start my work week on a Monday, and I've just always preferred calendars that start on a Monday as a start date. As I said, I use my electronic calendar too, and both of them are set where the first day of the week is a Monday. Now, what I don't do usually on my bullet journal, but I do on my electronic calendar, is I actually put in the week of the semester. So on my electronic calendar, it says that this is week 1. And what I will likely do is go back and put that in on my bullet journal too, because I did it toward the end of the semester last semester, and I actually found it really useful. So that's one of the things I think I'm going to go back to doing, and I'll probably start that with this week. So the next thing that I do is I go ahead and I put in all of the things that are appointments. So here I'm putting in a little square because for my bullet journal, an empty square is something that I have to do, either an appointment I have to keep or it's something that's on my to-do list. And then I draw a diagonal line through the square when something is in progress. It's started rather, and then when it's in progress, it's at least halfway done, I fill in the square halfway, and then when it is complete, I fill in the square all the way. One of the things that I really like about bullet journaling is in my old research journals, before I started bullet journaling, whenever I had a task, I would draw a line through it. That was really hard when I went back to look and read the journal later to figure out like what I had done. It was like sometimes, as you can tell, I have pretty tight penmanship. And so sometimes when I drew a line through something, it meant that I really obliterated that whole word, and there was no way for me to know what I drew a line through. So that's one of my favorite things about bullet journaling now is I only draw a line through something if it's deleted, if it's not happening anymore. And I don't draw a line through all of the letters. I just draw a line through the first 1 or 2 letters and through the box. So far I haven't had to delete anything yet. So it hasn't really, I think maybe I had one appointment last week. But so far, that's kind of where we are with that. So one of the other things that I do is I write across things that, and where my hand is right there is me looking at the things that go across multiple days. So I highlighted it to indicate that it was the same thing going across multiple days. So that's actually my office hours. They're not the same hours every day, but it's something that goes across the whole of 2 days. And so I like to kind of just highlight that so that it's visually something that just stays on top of my sort of frame of mind when I'm looking at it. Then I go ahead and write in the things that are happening toward the end of the week. And again, I'm looking at my electronic calendar. Not everything that's on my electronic calendar is going on my bullet journal sort of appointments. So there's things like, one of the things that, to make sure that I have a healthy meal, part of having healthy meals is having them on time, the same time every day, which is definitely on my electronic calendar to remind myself to have meals, but I don't put it in my bullet journal. So that's like an example of something that doesn't come into the bullet journal, but is on my electronic calendar. So here I'm starting to write in my tasks and my projects. As I was doing this, I don't know why I started on Thursday, probably because that's what was sort of the thing that I thought was the most important and I wanted to make sure to do. I usually just sort of focus on sort of what's the big goal for the week, and that's usually the first one that I write in, and then I write in the rest of the goals, and the tasks and to-dos around that. So for this week, I have a couple of big things that I need to continue to work on or finish, and so I started with those. Right at that moment, though, I realized that I forgot to write in the assignments, or I'm sorry, not assignments, the appointments, the task, to-dos, and projects label on the side. And so I went ahead and pulled out my Crayola pencil or my Staedtler, actually, fine liner pen to write in the information, and then my Crayola pencil to color it in. I like coloring in the sort of the label here because it just kind of makes it stand out a little bit against everything else that's sort of written there. And you see I used a ruler. I'm a little kind of, I don't know, I get kind of precise about this. I like to color inside the lines, I guess. My mom will tell you I was never really that kid that colored outside of the lines. Love to color, don't like a mess. So I went ahead and shaded that in there. Here, the next thing is just going to be to finish putting in the tasks and the to-dos. And then I highlight the label to show so that I can kind of, when I'm looking at it quickly, it's easy for me to tell what topic area the tasks are under. So the next thing that you're gonna see is me highlighting in under the projects, the course things that I have to do. Now for me, projects are continuous, tasks are kind of one-offs. So the project is gonna be like research projects, it'll be certain data collection projects, it'll also be class prep, because classes are a continuous thing that take all semester to complete. So you see me flipping back to those projects to show what I have to do in relationship to the class projects, or in relationship to my teaching. And then flipping back to last week to show, so I can see on my follow-ups, what are the things that I need to follow up with from the last week. So what needs to be completed that I wrote down. So now that I've written in pretty much everything that I need for the week to get started, I go ahead and start placing a couple of stickers to really sort of decorate it. At the beginning I said I really wanted to use this one sticker, and from the planning sheet that my mom gave me, and I just had to reposition it to find the right spot for it. Excuse me. I like to use stickers, like I said, to sort of decorate the planner, make it a little bit prettier, a little bit more interesting for me. And then some stickers, like this Happy Planner laundry sticker, Please don't ask me why I love that laundry sticker. I just do. And so it is, I don't know, it's the little things like that. There's like a little broom pan sticker or dustpan sticker that says like house cleaning. Love that little sticker. So it's nice to use stickers for things like that, the sort of mundane tasks that you probably don't want to do anyway, but stickers make them more fun. So when I'm placing my stickers, especially if they're related to something that needs to get done, I do like to leave a little room to the left-hand side of the sticker so that I can put in the box, so that especially if it's like a task or appointment related, I want to be able to put the box in so that I can check it off when it's done at the end of the week. So, or maybe not the end of the week, but the end of the day when that task is complete, or if I need to migrate that task over to the next day, which I didn't mention earlier. When I migrate a task, I actually draw a line out of the box with a little arrow, and that signifies that I'm migrating the task to the next day or to later in the week. So sometimes the great thing about that in bullet journaling, that's one of the things that they suggest, or that's sort of fundamental to bullet journaling, is that idea of being able to migrate a continuing task. And the great thing about that is, instead of you rewriting the task every day, if you didn't finish it, just, create a symbol for you so that you know what it means that you're going to kind of move it over. And then you fill it in when it's done, instead of writing it 3 times. So this is the last, I think, thing that I do usually is I go ahead and I write in the week with the date so that I know what it is, basically. And right across the top right there where that header is, that's actually where I'll put like week 1, week 2, so on as well. And so that's something that I'm going to end up adding in. I did forget to write on this video follow-up to label that section, but I did do that. I went back and did that later. So these are all of the supplies that I used, my Tombow markers and all of my Staedtler pens and whatnot, and the stickers and everything. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.